Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another set of Genshin Impact reactions. Today we have Not All Blades Point the Same Way and His Rest Within the Night. Both of these requested by Harshit as per usual. Harshit's always at the top of the list. Everyone always likes his comments. So we're getting to another two that he has in here today. And I've actually been playing Genshin for those who have missed those streams. I have been playing Genshin for a couple days now and I'm enjoying myself. It's a fun game. I haven't gotten like too deep into it. I basically just got into Leeway like today. So there's still like a lot to do. I've done a lot of side stuff, but not too much of it. But I am enjoying it, and I plan to keep playing it at least consistently through the rest of the month. So if you want to see me play any of those, you can definitely catch me on random days throughout the month. Keep an eye out for the live alerts or community posts if I make any, and you'll see them if you do. If not, the VODs will always be there. But I'm going to be listening to these two songs today and hear what they have in store. So without further ado, let's go! Ah. More spookiness from this region. Probably the darkest one I've heard from this album so far. Almost Danny Elfman-esque. That like swelling wave. That was neat. Ooh. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. The intensity knows no bounds on this one. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, that's a change up. Yeah, this is going through a whole shift. Completely different song. Going for a Phrygian dominant thing. I'm pretty sure, at least. Kind of bring him back in the darkness, too. And a build up to what? Ooh, leaving some room. This is very much a storytelling track. This is not a short little piece meant to loop. This has movement and phases to it. I can tell all those parts are supposed to play at a specific moment. God. Oh, that's where it's ending? Just on that dark energy there? Okay. Well. That one was very different from the usual duel videos I cover, and that's usually just because they tend to be the short ones that are meant to loop and are meant to cover a generally wide array of things. This one was way too cinematic for that. I'm assuming that this has to be a cutscene of some sort. It felt too timed, it felt too well paced. Everything had its moment to shine, to build, to start from that like darker energy, to have like set the tone of what was happening, some unfortunate moment, and everyone's like, oh no, shit's about to go down. And then that's when the energy kicks in, shit does go down. And then maybe a little bit, the ending is kind of interesting too, because there's a little bit of a release to it. So maybe it was kind of like a giant death balloon that ended up not exploding and just kind of deflating, and people going like, huh? Like, it just, like, this big thing was built up and then it ended up being effectively nothing, is kind of what that did to me. There was some energy there, so I feel like there's a lot of hectic situational things going on during this moment where, like, oh shit's going down, you could see the balloon getting bigger, you know, like, how do we handle that? Everybody to battle stations, we are going to war. And then all of a sudden the army just disappears and everyone's like, well, but go home, I guess. I mean, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting out of this. It's definitely a weird one because I'm really not used to hearing these like multi-tiered tracks in these short form videos. But again, I kind of figured it was gonna be when I saw the length of it. I figured it would either be something from a cutscene or just a really big area with a very long song that had to loop. But the minute it started, I was like, okay, we're going cinematic route with it. And we had all of that tension in there. It was just very dark, and then it built up to a little bit more of that, like, oh, now we're fighting or going to fight, we're ready. I don't think it ever got to a point where I felt like a climactic high, like we were actually doing a fight. I feel like it was all just kind of set up, you know? Like, it didn't really feel like it had the energy of, we are actively in a battle, risking our lives. It was just more like an everybody to their battle stations, not anything beyond that. And then again, by the time it ended, that kind of deflated and maybe self-resolved. I don't know what would have happened to make that happen, but an interesting one because of that, because I can't pinpoint exactly why that would have been the case. So my best guess is that it's that exact thing I've said a few times. It was a little bit of a dark start, like, oh shit, things are about to go down. Oh shit, things are going down. Everybody rally. Where'd they go? And I that's my best guess. But that also kind of means I don't really have much more to say about it because it's exactly that. That's my overview of this song. That's the vibes I got from it. So I guess I'll just get to the next one. So His Rest Was in the Night will be next, I suppose. Sorry I don't have much else to say about that one. I think I just kind of gravitated towards the meaning because there was so much time for me to think about what it could mean while I was listening. So hopefully I'm in the ballpark for that one. But if not, oh well, I guess. Let me know if I was right, though, of course. But I'm going to get to the next song now. Okay, so a very similar energy. Very dynamic, for sure. There's lots of range in the playing and the energy of it. This might even be a motif of the other one? It doesn't sound exact, but it sounds similar, so it very well could be related to the last one. Just a rearrangement of sorts. Oh? Oh, we're going back down. Kind of dancing around the resolve there. It's interesting for this one because I can't tell if it's like That's weird. The tone of this one is kind of like knocking between two potential vibes and types of music, and I can't tell which it is, but of course I'll get into that now. So this one caught my ear because it sounded maybe like a funeral march in a way, like not directly. It felt more, it was played more like a classical romantic piece, kind of like a sonata, like a Moonlight Sonata, for example. Like it had that feeling to it, that flow to it. It didn't quite have the funeral march feel to it because it's not a march, you know, but it definitely had that connotation to it. I think that was just specifically the key, and the notes being played sounded much more down and depressed. Like Moonlight Sonata has a little bit of that, but it's definitely romantic. It's not sad. It doesn't have this like death weight to it like this one does. So I'm now wondering if these two songs are connected. If the last one was kind of like an, ooh, what happened? This might be the aftermath. Like this is definitely giving somebody died. This is definitely giving me that energy, and I'm confident on that one. This has to deal with somebody being dead. It's got all of the telltale signs of a funeral track. The tone of it was just too lethargic. The music was a little romanticized, but not in a beautiful way, not in that classical romantic way that we all know. It was definitely more of a funeral track. It had more minor shifts, it had more dissonance, it had a little bit of everything that was pulling the energy down. Traditionally, these are all tricks to make the listener go, oh, that's sad. You know, it's the usual shit I talk about on here. This song has got to be somebody died, here's the end of their story, and you're just kind of living through that, or you're maybe, it's Genshin, right? Like I don't know much about Genshin yet. Obviously, like I said in the intro, I'm still very new to it, so I haven't gotten that deep into it. Definitely not as deep as this album is. And I'm like, okay, well, I understand it a little bit. I'm feeling out how the game kind of feels itself out and how it would present something. I'm wondering if this wouldn't be an area related to somebody who died in the past. That's something I've seen a few times, not necessarily in my own gameplay, but in other songs I've reacted to that people have clarified on, that songs like this tend to play in like empty caverns or abandoned castles, stuff where like echoes of the past are still very much relevant, but that also will separate it from my experience with the first song, because that was obviously something very cinematic and active. Like that must have been happening with you as the player in that moment. This feels like a reflection, like a point in time saved and made into a song. So maybe this isn't directly related. It might be a different area. It might very well be the same area, but I feel like this is separating itself, because even though it does sound kind of familiar and it does have a similar air to especially the intro of that first one, it's not the same thing. It doesn't have the same presence in this one. This is definitely forlorn, lost to time, and you're looking at just this still image of what once was. I've gotten that a few times in Genshin tracks, and it hits me every single time because I'm like, well, how deep does that go? I know they're very deep on their lore, and that's very hard for me as an extremely new player to be able to feel out what that's like. You know, like I don't know how deep this can go. I haven't really even done too much of like the world missions or anything. Like I've got so many things to do yet and to understand the game better. So with my current understanding, I think my best guess is that this song must play in an abandoned or dead location where a tragedy has happened or whoever lived there is now gone, and you're just kind of here with that. But also it's got a presence to it. I don't think that this is like some other ones where it's like a whole area completely wiped out, or like you know like an abandoned city or ruins. You know, this isn't like the result of a tragedy that happened to many. It doesn't have that softness to it. It's got a little bit more of a grand energy to it. I don't know how else to explain that than just how proud and breathing this song was. This sounds like a dying king on their throne, somebody who is too proud of themselves to step away and was like, nope, I'm gonna die right here because I deserve it and because I'm too proud of myself to ask for help in my final moments. after everything I've already done. It's like a self-reflective, almost self-pity in a way sort of song where it's got that presence to it. It has almost like this echo of regality to it. There's pride there, but it's a forlorn pride. It's a pride that once was, but is no longer, and you're kind of just looking at it like, well, that's kind of sad now in hindsight, you know? That's what this song is doing for me. It's a lot, but I'm kind of feeling like these are not directly like A, B connected. They don't happen right after each other. Maybe the second one is like way after what happens in the first one, or maybe the first one happens after this one. Maybe you're forced to see this moment and then something happens to resurrect whatever was dead, and now that's a problem, but then it dies again. There's a lot of potentials here. Genshin is a mess when it comes to their lore, as much as there is of it, and as well as they do handle a lot of it. I would not be surprised if this one was a little bit disjointed, but that's also just assuming that these songs are directly connected in some way, shape, or form. I'm feeling a little bit of a connection, but I don't feel how they can be directly connected. So if they are, what the fuck am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing something. That's the problem with me guessing these songs and being told that they're connected. I am missing at times dozens of tracks between the two that are supposed to be connected. So I don't fucking know. But these are two songs that are similar in some ways, but also far too thematically distant for me to be able to tell how connected they are. But I've been yapping plenty about this as it is, so I'm going to call it here. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you want to correct me on anything, feel free in the comments below, or if you want to request anything else, by all means, do that as well. Fair warning, usually when I'm getting to games like this, I tend to skip a few videos for reactions and just focus on playing the games instead for those weeks. So you might see a few less Genshin reactions out of me for the next couple of weeks, but those will pick back up next month. I just tend to replace those by doing gameplay instead. I feel like you're still getting the content out of me, and it's far more of it, just me running through the world and trying to experience everything. So hopefully none of you guys hate me for that, but I'm not going to be getting to as many. I'll probably still do one or two more, so it's not like I'm completely stopping Genshin reactions. And again, I'll pick them back up after the month is over, because that's my focus month, is just the 1 month of that game, and then I can play it more if I want to and stream those on odd times. It really all depends on what I'm feeling that day. I don't really have a specific schedule for any of that. I'm just here. I'm just a little guy, you know, like a little 200 some odd pound man. But by all means, if you just want to follow me and support me for other stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!